Welcome to GroWrk Visionaries, a series where we explore the intersection of innovation, technology, and the workplace of tomorrow. I'm Carlos, the CEO of GroWrk, and I'm thrilled to have Eddie Borrero with us today. Eddie is a distinguished leader in the IT and cybersecurity space with extensive experience driving digital transformation and IT security at scale. This series is about uncovering insights from visionaries like Eddie on how emerging technologies, particularly AI, are redefining IT and the workplace. Today, we'll explore the role of AI in IT security, enterprise IT lifecycle management, the healthcare industry, and the future of work. Eddie, thank you very much again. And before we dive into the big questions, I'd love to learn more about your professional journey. How have your first I know that you just recently transitioned to new roles, but how have your first few months as a CIO of Stellaris been, and what aspects of this role have been the most exciting or transformative so far for you?
It's a great question. I would just say simply, I love the role. I was born to be a CIO. I was a CISO, or Chief Information Security Officer, for a few decades, probably 2 decades at least. And I cut my teeth and made my bones, as I like to say, or, built up my brand on being very innovative and being the security guy that enabled companies and helped bring enhancements, strategies to life. So, most chief information security officers are known as the know people. I wanted to be known as the go people, the people that enable the success of a business. And in some situations, I was even called the chief marketing officer because I would market and speak highly of strategic initiatives and then work to be the forerunner. So, as we thought about cloud coming into the scene, there was a lot of concerns back in the day of people going to the cloud, mostly around security and compliance. And so, as an example, I would have my teams be the first people in the cloud, building our tools and capabilities in the cloud, learning the cloud so that companies that I worked for and that I advised for would feel encouraged and safe and comfortable with moving their systems to the cloud. So if security is blessing it and security is figuring it out, why can't everybody else? And so, I think about how do we set innovation free? How do we set companies up for success, all while they're being secure and compliant? Now, that mindset and those years of experience have led me to this CIO opportunity. And what I love most about this role is I'm at the forefront of that innovation now. I'm at the forefront of helping our business understand how they can use technology to enhance what they're trying to do to change the industry we're working in, et cetera, et cetera. And I think that's an amazing opportunity. And, I would say for many years, security people were at the forefront of innovation. They had to understand what the latest and greatest threats were, the latest and greatest technologies were, but they see themselves as protector technology, protectors of data. If you flip that on its end a little bit, they are the learners of the most advanced technology so that we can have companies be able to be safe as they leverage artificial intelligence, as they leverage the next most creative innovation and technology to enhance their business. So I think there's an opportunity for other chief information security officers to see the CIO role as a stepping stone, as a place to get to leverage those skills that we have deep inside when it comes to understanding and leveraging innovation and technology.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And I think that this is very interesting because in that role, as a CISO, how do you think through AI, right? AI is reshaping industries everywhere, and how do you see AI changing the IT industry over the next few years? and what considerations do you think are critical in this role, as companies evaluate how to implement it within their organizations?
Yeah, I would say artificial intelligence is going to transform the technology industry and the IT industry, full stop. I mean, we are going to do things different. It's already transforming the technology roles that are out there today, with things like generative AI creating code. So removing the need for uh, common development, like common, what's the right way to think about this? It's not removing the need of developers, but it's removing the need of developers spending time on very basic types of coding when it comes to building out applications and systems, and really focusing in on and honing in on the creativity around how to make that technology a differentiator for their business. And so, that's one way to think about it. It's going to enhance people's ability to spend more time on the creative engineering side of the house, less time on the common engineering practices that are out there. I'd also say it's a big cost-cutting activity where you can make innovation cheaper. And by doing so, you make innovation more plentiful. On the security side of the house, it can same thing, enhance how we protect systems, enhance how we operationalize security, enhance how we respond to security events. On the flip side of that coin, it's going to make the threat landscape even bigger. It's going to make attacks smarter, more frequent, if that's even possible. But as you think about it, it's going to change everything we think about when it comes to technology. I think Cisco just recently launched the fact that they're partnering with NVIDIA to create kind of an AI network capability, baking NVIDIA's capabilities within Cisco devices. So AI is going to empower every aspect of everything we do in the technology industry, and full stop.
Yeah, 100%. And you've specialized, or you've been focusing or working in the healthcare space for a long time, right? Healthcare IT is highly complex and heavily regulated. So what unique challenges do CIOs in healthcare face that other industries might not when it comes down to AI?
Oh, I think the simple answer to that is really the healthcare industry is behind the times when it comes to using technology within the industry itself, using it to enable business processes, using it to enable insights. And so there's very antiquated systems in place that don't have simple things like API interfaces to allow for easy access and integration between different companies, different systems, different data sets. Everything is still file-based, database-based, fax-based. And so when I think about the future is a fully integrated healthcare system that everyone plugs into, and that will drive cheaper costs or more affordable healthcare, better insights into people's health, better insights into how do we service patients better insights into what kind of procedures and medicine people need. It's just going to change the game once data and experiences are fully integrated as an ecosystem. And if you look at other industries like the finance industry, it's fully integrated. You can buy something at the local grocery store and it'll charge your bank in Europe if you're a European citizen. It's fully integrated, but we're not like that in healthcare yet.
Right, right. It makes sense, and I think a lot of it is around this security considerations, right? And it's the reason why maybe some industries are a little bit more, slower to adopt and integrate these newer technologies because there are just so many considerations around security. And so, given your deep expertise in cybersecurity, how do you see AI transforming IT security? Right? What are the biggest risks and opportunities?
I think the biggest opportunities, the risks are pretty well understood. It's gonna take the threat level and it's already skyrocketing. Uh, Attacks and Yeah, attacks and threats are growing. Uh, Malware development is growing. Using AI to trick people and social engineering is growing. The scale of the change in the threat landscape is just exponential. The opportunities for us is to meet that exponential growth in threat with an exponential growth in our ability to protect and respond. We're, really using kind of the NIST cybersecurity framework methodology, to protect, detect, and respond effectively, even recover our systems more systematically. So we can start to take humans out of the picture and use artificial intelligence to just get on top of the threats that are coming our way, and maybe even start to close gaps and vulnerabilities before we even know about them. So it could discover, build security controls and capabilities, and who knows what the future looks like. I mean, I could dream of a day. I remember when I was young watching the movie Hackers, and the security guy in the company, he's on the big screen and he can see all the computer systems that look like a city visually, and he can see the attacker in there and they can combat it. Oh, in the future, we don't even need people. It'll be like that from an artificial intelligence standpoint. Or it's, and let's use some healthcare terminology. It'll be like an immune system, right? It can detect the thing that's bad and fix it and go after it and cure it. I think systems are going to be the same way. Like in the future, it's going to be a game of artificial, intelligence, attacking and responding.
Yeah, I think it's fascinating, and the capability of developing AI, agents that can be used to predict, detect and respond to cybersecurity threats in healthcare specifically. It's super interesting. So we'll see how that and that evolves. But it's very exciting to see that happening right now.
It
And
is.
so,
There's one more aspect to it that I really, really love, and that's the consumer. And so AI can really do a deep dive in understanding who the consumer is, and that can translate into better access controls, better authorization controls, better understanding of how someone operates, and using that as a risk measurement and a security control, as well as delivering better experiences to that consumer. So as you understand that consumer better, your products and services can just imagine a day when your products and services start to change automatically to meet the needs of individual users. And you start to see that a little bit in some of the big platforms like Amazon, right? And Netflix and others, where you have a profile. It's all based of your activity. I imagine, like, scale that up 10,000 times and people start to understand everything you do with their products and services, or everything you do within an industry, or your shopping habits, or just who you are when it comes to how you leverage whatever. Banking's starting to do it with fraud detection. But imagine the future where it's the platforms and products know you so well that it can secure your access and your data more better than any other products and services we can think of today, but also serve you and give you experiences that are going to be amazing. So that intersection of security and customer experience, I think, is where I'm extremely excited. I think it's a game changer for people that really, take advantage of those capabilities.
100%. That it's definitely exciting times to be around today, and in particular for us, ultimately, what we do here at GroWrk is exactly that, right? We're excited about using AI to streamline IT asset management and enhance workplace efficiency. From your perspective, you know what stands out about just having a better control over asset management within an organization in the context of obviously minimizing risks and the way companies, especially companies with thousands of employees, with access to multiple endpoints, how important is that? How important it is for an organization to stay on top of what is happening to each device, to each endpoint, when it comes down to reducing or minimizing those risks?
I'll expand on that a little bit. It's not just the devices, endpoints, and assets. It's the data that's held within those assets as well. It's the experiences those things deliver. It's the combined power of all those endpoints and capabilities to deliver a product. And so when you think about how do we build an immune system to protect all those things, you got to understand every cell in the body and every endpoint and every asset that's out there. You have to deeply understand where data is everywhere. And in today's world, data is very fluid and various environments in the cloud, dev test, QA, production, data's flowing. And understanding where all that is really important, not just to protect it, but to really recover it. So imagine, many companies today take months after a ransomware event to restore their business and their technology. Imagine a future where all your assets, where all your data is. You can absolutely, with all certainty, understand that you know how all that stuff interconnects to deliver a service to a customer. And you can absolutely understand that those things are backed up effectively. They're in a place where you can restore them systematically. You understand the point in time of the data you need. Like, imagine a world where you're not only autonomously protecting yourself, you're autonomously recovering because you have such deep assurance that a system knows every aspect of what it needs to deliver its products and services. So I think, you'll have, like, in the future, this is what I predict. You'll have like let's just call it an IT environment or technology environment for a company, a system. You have one system that's interconnected with products and capabilities that deliver products and services to our customers. And you'll have an artificial intelligence brain managing security, managing patching, managing updates, managing backups, managing recovery, rebuilding on the fly, telling humans, hey, I need more capacity. I need more of this. I'm projecting in the future, you're going to have this much demand because of what we're seeing. Order these things, build these things, grow your infrastructure as a service. Maybe even, hey, look, we're doing things this way. You can find some efficiencies by doing X, Y, and Z. Replatform this thing. A technology brain in the background helping you run ITIL, helping you run the NIST CSF. And it's just going to be a world where people will get to focus in on more things that are helping to grow the company, grow the technology, replatforming, innovating, less of the operational day-to-day. That operational day-to-day should be managed by artificial intelligence agency, in my mind.
Right. No, 100%. And within that, vision, which I completely agree with, how should organizations rethink IT workforce development and skills training, right? Are there particular skill sets in IT teams that should be focusing on to remain valuable in an AI-driven environment?
Yeah, you have to, artificial intelligence capabilities are changing. Artificial intelligence has been around for a long time. If you think about simple things like machine learning, it's been around forever. And for those that didn't understand how to take machine learning and build orchestration and automation, they fell off, they're falling behind the times. Same thing with cloud infrastructure. For those that didn't move their skills from building servers to building cloud environments and developing applications, their skill is less in demand. So I think you have to start to get up to speed on what are the latest, greatest innovations in artificial intelligence and start to think about, how do I do my job with artificial intelligence? Where's I like Wayne Gretzky, right? When he talked about his strategy for hockey, he didn't focus on where the puck was. He's always focused on where the puck was going. Well, where's technology going? Where's artificial intelligence going? How do you, let me phrase this correctly, work yourself out of the work you're doing so you can focus in on more innovative, valuable, meaningful work? And to do that, you have to be educated. You have to understand how to interact with artificial intelligence.
Right. And it's interesting because that's what I tell, our team. Our team, they're always thinking, hey, we're gonna get replaced by AI. And I tell them, look, you're not gonna get replaced by AI. You can definitely be replaced by someone who actually knows how to leverage, AI, right? And so I think that just applies to every, industry.
I always say it's the greatest computer human interface. Like, I tell my kids, my whole family leverages some sort of chat artificial intelligence. And yeah, we try out a bunch, but the goal is get us to be smarter, get us to actually be more creative, get us to be more innovative. And so the time it takes to do research has went from days, weeks, months to minutes and seconds. So how do we leverage that to do more? And then the time it takes us to fill out a spreadsheet and do calculations, for instance, that's that time can just we can save so much time as human beings if we just learn how to interface effectively with artificial intelligence in our day to day and in our work life as well.
100%. And it's just a big unlock of efficiencies that allow you to focus on higher, value tasks, right? And I think it just benefits everybody within an organization. So, switching gears a little bit, and I would like to hear a little bit more about your perspective on, you know, what is your view on IT lifecycle asset management within the healthcare space, where you have been focusing on. And so, IT lifecycle management in healthcare comes with additional challenges from, compliance to device security. What best practices should enterprises follow to ensure their IT assets remain secure and efficient?
Yeah. I I don't know if there's a difference in healthcare. Like I look at, let's just talk about any kind of standard, ITIL, COBIT, uh, NIST cybersecurity framework, you name it. And you can look at trends by industries, and they're all the same frameworks. And some industries are more mature than other or better than others. Well, why is that? And it's mostly because some industries invest more. They see that it's more necessary to meet their compliance posture, et cetera. So like finance is always on top. Healthcare is kind of a rising bar against all those different industries because the regulations are pushing us to do more to protect personal healthcare information. So I don't think it's any different than what you would do to protect a financial organization or what you would do to protect PII or personal identifiable information in a social network or social network application like Facebook or Instagram or a commerce product like Amazon. We all have the same types of controls we need to put in place. We're all following the same types of standards and processes. And the goal is to get to a place where we're automating and leveraging AI to do those controls. Like that's the new way of thinking. And if you looked at like capability maturity models against these standards in the past, you know, uh, they're different scaling, but the top scale was always optimization. And optimization meant that you were always innovating and building on your controls. And that was really hard to do. And only the most funded security programs were able to do that. Well, it's not that expensive nowadays because artificial intelligence allows you to get to this place where you're fully optimizing in your ability to protect the company, your ability to detect threats, your ability to respond to them, your ability to understand and react to regulations, coming threats, business needs, your ability to govern all those things. And in the future, your ability to recover, the restoration of systems, and you see it a lot through an automation ability, but the restoration will happen with artificial intelligence. So I wouldn't say it's different in our industry. We gotta get to this maturity level across our controls where we're fully leveraging automation and artificial intelligence to keep us up to speed on what's happening.
Right. Right.
All right. And it'll change the game. It'll change the controls we focus on. But the standards and the ways of protecting systems don't really change. The controls and how you do it are the things that are changing constantly. And imagine if you had AI helping you, stay abreast, stay afloat, stay current on the latest, greatest ways of addressing the threats that are out there.
Right.
Does that make sense?
No, absolutely, 100%, 100%. So, my perspective is, I look at the healthcare space as obviously, an industry where it's highly regulated, and because of that, my assumption is always, hey, the way you evaluate how to implement new technologies, how to, run operations in general tends to be a little bit, you know, more strict or different than what you see in lower, regulated environments. So this is the is that correct? Is that a correct assumption, or
Yeah.
do you
I think it's the opposite.
think? Yeah, interesting.
I think, and think about like highly regulated industries, like the most highly regulated industries. Healthcare's up there, finance is up there, critical infrastructure is up there, and you see innovation and movement in the financial area. There's a whole financial tech industry that's like amazingly creative, and you got Bitcoin challenging the system. You got innovation happening everywhere. Regulations doesn't stop that. It actually tells you do that, but stay within the boundaries. And some of those boundaries are antiquated, but that's where you come in as leaders and push on policymakers and push on the regulations. But it shouldn't stipend you. It may slow you down a little bit. You look at critical infrastructure, most highly regulated environment. You got nuclear power plants down to windmills, and then you got distribution systems everywhere. Look at all the innovation that's happening in that space. You got smart meters everywhere, smart things on the grid. You got nuclear facilities that are decades old that still have automation in place, and they're thinking about innovation in that space. It's a mindset shift. Like, we cannot let regulation stop us from innovating. You have to work within the regulation boundaries and push on policymakers. But that's what we need strong leaders for in this space, to really say, how do we change the industry? You can only really do that with technology and by digitizing healthcare or whatever industry you work in. And so I would say don't fall victim to that. Like, it's hard, it's impossible, it's slow because of regulation. Push on it. Push hard on it.
That's a great point, Eddie. Awesome. So look, I think that we're already, getting a time. I want to be mindful of the time that we have here. So this has been a fascinating, conversation, Eddie. Are there any final thoughts or advice you'd like to share with IT leaders who are navigating this AI-driven transformation?
Yeah, get in front of it. Don't be the IT leader that it happens to you. That your business is smarter than you are when it comes to all the innovations around artificial intelligence. Be the smartest person in the room. Do your homework. Leverage the tools. Be innovative. You have to be the enabler. And one of the secrets I've always done is build deep relationships with people and sit alongside them. Like, one of my best friends in my last company was the chief technology officer. And this company, our chief technology officer happens to roll into me, and we partner on everything. And then we're working with our business and thinking through, like, how do we innovate better? And so I would challenge anyone who's feeling like they're having a hard time getting their hands wrapped around the requests and things coming in. Get ahead of it. Be that leader.
Yeah, that's great, Eddie. Great message. Well, thank you so much for your time and insights, Eddie. For everyone watching, stay tuned for more episodes of GroWrk Visionaries as we bring you more conversations with the brightest minds shaping the future of IT in the workplace. Thank you very much again, Eddie. And looking forward to staying in touch.
Yeah. Carlos, it was a pleasure. Great chatting with you. Thank you again. I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you.